morning from Mansfield, Quebec. Mansfield / Fort Collonge. 13 April, this is Out and About. I'm Cactus. And it's a beautiful, supposed to be, according to the Weather Network, 28 degrees Celsius. I can't do the Fahrenheit. Google it. 28 degrees Celsius, sunny, warm day on a 13 April. In the Ottawa Valley and Ottawa. And I'm heading to Ottawa, excuse me, to do a bikey day, bike around and enjoy the lovely summer-like weather, unusual warm weather. It's fabulous. I'm going to Ottawa, which is normally a 90-minute drive away up the Highway 17 going east from the Pembroke-Petawawa area. But I like to go because I'm a little touched in the head. I just can't go the same way or come back the same way. So I'm going to Ottawa on the Quebec side, which is really interesting. Probably adds another 20 or more minutes to the drive, but it's more scenic. It's nice. There's a few twisty abandoned things to see along the way. I'm trying not to get too distracted because what time is it? 9:13 in the morning. I want to get there and get on the bike and cycle and go downtown and go past the Parliament buildings and maybe into Rockcliffe past the Prime Minister's residence that he never stays in because it's a piece of junk. So yeah, we've passed by Waltham, we've drove through Davidson, and now we're in Mansfield on the opposite side of the river, because as you can see, I've crossed the restored covered bridge, which had been shut down for a few years because the government put a lot of money into bringing it back to life, and they've done a nice job. It's good to see it back online. That's an original old covered bridge that they're preserving. There's a few more things around here they could put some effort into preserving. This is the Collonge River, which spills into the Ottawa River at Davidson. Beautiful morning. Nice area to bike too. There's a PPJ bike trail that goes as far as Queenal, and unfortunately it stops there. Almost gets you to Ottawa. Go another 30 kilometers to Aylmer and you'll be back on trails. It's a bit of a lonely old bike trail, but nice to be off the road in the country if you want the quiet. And the bike trail goes through all these little towns of Waltham. More or less starts in Waltham. Goes through Davidson, that railway bridge I had a shot of. Mansfield here. So this is Mansfield up the road. On the highway you'll see businesses and things in Mansfield up the road. When you come in more, the side I'm on, you'll come into old Fort Collonge proper. So they're kind of twin towns that are just about attached, kind of like Pembroke-Petawawa. Anyway, maybe a few clips of Fort Collonge and then we got to get going. I got to try not to get too distracted. I could do a whole bunch of other videos on this side of the river from Ontario. That'll be another day. Let's get to Ottawa. But first, show you a couple of rotten things in Fort Collonge. Gotta love a stone church. Beautiful stone church. Presbyterian church in Fort Collonge. Local war memorial. Memory of the men from Fort Collonge and district who made the supreme sacrifice for their country during the two great wars. And this, fun fact, is actually a canal that loops from the Ottawa River and back out a few kilometers to the other side. It, in some aspect in the past, may have been carved, and steamboats came in, and I'm sure there was all kinds of docks and everything in the logging days. My friend Derek and I have paddled this before. We paddled from Pembroke-Petawawa area to Ottawa one year, and we came in this way. No, we couldn't get past the culvert down there. It was blocked. They should open that up somehow. This would be a great little boating path, and they could bring tourism in here. We canoed in from there, and there's a dock down here, and we moored here on this dock, and we went looking for groceries. And at the grocery store, we asked, is there any place left in this town to have breakfast, because so much is closed since the logging days slowed down. Logging still goes on, but not to the extent it used to. And they directed us to this Spruce Home Inn place years ago, and they had a great big buffet breakfast for a hell of a deal. And there's a conference center where you can bring your staff to have a weekend shindig, and there's rooms, and I think they still make food. I'm not sure. I hear no word about this place anymore. Used to be a place to come and eat for sure. We'll have to look it up and see. So, a couple of quick shots of Fort Collonge, and we got a booker to Ottawa. The Spruce Home Inn. It's the rooms. Lumber Baron Bryson. This is one of his mansions. That should be restored. Mansard roof. The old movie theater. Another fantastic church. A lot of closed up stuff. So just a little bit slightest swampy gap between Fort Collonge, which we just popped out of, just a few hundred meters, and now Mansfield. 148, we're going to get back on the 148 and continue east. This is actually, this side of the river, to speak of the Ottawa Valley, this side of the river is Quebec, as we know, is a high concentration of Irish heritage and German, and you'll see names representing all that in the interior a bit. But this little pocket, Fort Collonge, Mansfield, is actually a little more of a French pocket in between. And everybody speaks English everywhere, but it's a little more predominantly French here. A lot of people that live in the Fort Collonge area, Mansfield area, as I've come to learn, if they want to maintain and reside here, they have to go find work elsewhere. So they head up to the mines in North Quebec, even North Ontario, and some are known as tunnel diggers too. As Ottawa put in their light rail system, they've had a lot of work there over the last few years, making tunnels and stuff. So a little closer to home. Ottawa's light rail is now in operation, and it's a total disaster. It's a piece of junk that got ripped off, I hear, if you watch the news, and I try not to. Ripped off by some French company or something like that. I don't know, look it up. It's not working well anyway. Lots of excuses like, oh, the winter's here in Canada, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. You know, Russia, cold parts of Europe have had trains for many, many decades, and they work just fine. So let's get it together. We're getting there. I'd do you a disservice if I didn't pull over and get a shot of this. Beautiful old Chevy. The vast Gatineau Park. As you can see, this waterfall is quite popular in the spring, with the spring runoff. There's an old barn. So I guess there's a path somewhere to get up there and have a closer look. Not today, folks. We'll get back there someday, though. Sure is nice in the spring. Lots of water coming off. Right, so my bag, everything punched in here. Welcome to Ottawa. Got my water. Let's lock the stand here. $19-20 degrees already. So, parked on a side street in the Westboro area, Hilson Avenue. Hilson and Iona. Mental note, remember where you park, Cactus. We're going to get on Wellington and go through Westboro, Hintonburg, maybe a little bit of Little Italy, perhaps. We'll see which way we get there. We're heading downtown. So, traveling down Wellington, just drove past Parkdale Avenue, left Westboro, now we're in Hintonburg. If anybody remembers the local news, the side of this limestone building caved in years ago. It was big controversial news. Well, it never got tore down, but never got fixed right either. A little sidestep alleyway here off of Wellington. One of these houses used to be my good chum Steve in high school. I did some high school years in Ottawa. One of these places, everything's so different, was his parents. That's where him and his cousin and Office Rocker Oiler and myself would spend a lot of time downtown here. I was a West End, almost suburbia kid, but I went to school downtown, and his parents never had a problem with a bunch of rambunctious asshole teenagers hanging out at their house. I think they're happy to know where we were. Good times. That was it. That narrow, tall place. All trendy now. Nice. Right beside that old warehouse. Let's go to the front. Ah, memories. Remember that, Steve-o? Your parents were the Dan and Roseanne Connor of Ottawa. They were awesome. They were good to us. Good times. So out of the traffic and down to the river, pretty much. The Ottawa River that runs all the way up to the Ottawa Valley. The historic Ottawa River. We hopped on the bike path. Lots of construction, lots of noise, lots of traffic. Speaking of our light rail I mentioned, here it is. Nice and quiet. Seems to be operating good today. Our fair weather hasn't gone off the tracks or nothing. Off in the distance, if you can see the green turrets in the downtown core, that is the Parliament buildings. We're headed that way. We're heading east, downriver. This area that's been largely undeveloped for almost ever is LeBreton Flats. It's a lot of land that used to be shanty towns, real ramshackle shacks where people lived, working class people, and lumber yards back in the day. And it all got raised to I guess to maybe beautify the capital, but they've never done anything with it. It's always been controversial. They are talking about putting a new hockey stadium here or something. I think it's a good location. But yeah, it's time to do something with the LeBreton Flats. Not sure what all the hang up is about. And there's little canals and cuts through here where they used to make dams so they could make some hydro, or they'd float logs through. There were log chutes through here. There's still maybe one hidden away somewhere. I seen a guy do a video on it one time. He climbed the fence, and it was one of those narrow iron steel log chutes. In the old days, you can see videos online. They used to make them out of log. Great big cribs used to slide down. So here's a little canal here. See the old stone piled up? There's where lock boom square timbers used to go in to dam it up. Looks like that's used no more. Such a waste of nice land, like right next to downtown. It's incredible. Right on the peace train. Oh, yeah, goodbye. I can assure you it's not the peace train, it is the Peace Tower. The Canadian Parliament buildings. Here in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Capital city of Canada. Lovely day. Unusually summer-like warm day, 13 April. I could reference this someday and reminisce about the beautiful weather we were having. Unless it's a sign of things to come. Global warming. Buckle up, they say. So I hear, I always hear talk of the center block. Would this be the center block? I don't know. Beautiful buildings, always under renovations, never ending. When acid rain was a thing in the 80s, acid rain, that was the scourge then. They say it was eating away at the stones of the buildings. I don't know. They're still here, but they never cease working on them. Let's tour around. The ever-present RCMP, I can assure you they are keeping an eye on me with this camera. Up, way up. And there we have the famous, iconic Chateau Laurier Hotel. Fancy schmancy old place. Can I go in here? Yes. Fabulous architecture. Construction zone. I was going to show you the library, but they are doing extensive work back there and there's no access. Many bronze statues all over downtown. War Memorial there, where they hold their Remembrance Day ceremonies. Sir Wilfrid Laurier, our Prime Minister, was it pre-World War I? After him was Borden, I think. Sir Robert Borden was the World War I Prime Minister. Used to be a lot of stuff for Sir John A. Macdonald, the first Prime Minister of Canada. Kind of fell into that cancel culture for his mistreatment of Indigenous people back in the day. Controversial, debatable. I don't think we should cancel our history, but I don't totally disagree with the Indigenous people's feelings on that. The National War Monument. This is the site of the terrorist attack by an individual years ago who shot and killed reservist Nathan Carrillo right on these steps. I don't know when the guard starts again, but it's too early in the year, I guess. It's the place to be on Remembrance Day. Nice big turnout. And then you hit the pub after. Or your local Legion. Here lie the remains of Canada's unknown soldier. Please treat this grave with respect. Nice, very nice. Very sad. Here we have a top view from the bridge beside the Chateau Laurier of the historical Rideau Canal. Not yet ready to fill up after the winter thaw. Almost though. Museum down here. I was going to go down below to give a closer look, but the locks are all closed. Oh no, this one's closed. Sorry, they're all open. This one's closed. I can cross here. Perhaps I will. Let's go down there. No, cancel last. Cancel last. Too much work. There is a path below the Parliament buildings around that I was heading for, but it's closed. I could have cycled around and showed, but If I cross down here, it's all stairs at each lock, and I'll be carrying the bike the whole time. I don't want to. So there's the Rideau Canal. So I came down to the right beside the Chateau Laurier on their concrete platform here. The historic Rideau Canal, built as a defense mechanism to transport goods and arms and whatnot between Kingston and Ottawa. Kingston, the former original capital of Canada, the Dominion of Canada. They settled on Ottawa in later years during, am I getting this right, Confederation, as it was called, in 1867. So you can boat on this sucker from the Ottawa River. The Ottawa River for navigating ends about that way because of dams and waterfalls, rapids. Going that way towards Montreal, you can enter the St. Lawrence, which takes you to the ocean and the world. My chum Derek and I paddled this Rideau Canal one time out of Smiths Falls to Ottawa. Not the most exciting paddle. Exciting in the city, not out farm country. Majors Hill Park behind the Chateau Laurier. This building, this fancy castle looking building, I think is the American Embassy, if I'm not mistaken, on the edge of the Byward Market. Have a read if you want there. I'm going to skip over the French parts because I don't think I have a lot of Quebec fans that speak French, but if you do, there you go. Historic paintings, 1841, that's how it used to look around here. 1905, assuming that's here. Parliament back in the day. And there's more. More. A capital oasis. July 1st, 1867, Canadians enjoyed the first of many celebrations to honor their country's birthday. And we still do. Celebrations at Majors Hill, 1867, when Canada became a country. Some decades before this, we were fighting with the Americans. We were kind of British and they didn't want to be anymore, and yeah, we had it out. Had to burn down your White House, actually. Sorry. We always say sorry. Sorry. And now we're best friends. Lovely day in the parks, everybody soaking up the sun. The National Arts Gallery. Or the National Art Gallery. Paintings and whatnot. Another shot of the canal from the entrance side. No leaves on the bushes yet, so we can see a bit. Yeah, all closed down here. Again, this has happened before. What a shame. See the construction at the back of the Parliament buildings? That's what they call the library. I know it was all restored a few years ago, so it should be okay. across the river, Quebec, as per the city of Hull, or the entire region of Gatineau. Gatineau, you see the rapids up here. You can't really boat much past the Rideau Canal, only east. The Ottawa was set to be a navigable river way back when, to enter Lake Nipissing at North Bay, down the French River into Lake Huron or Georgian Bay, one or the other, same thing. Never developed. It made more sense for the St. Lawrence to be the inland waterway to the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes, huge ocean-like lakes that are still used for shipping to this day. This little sucker was too small. I mean, it had its purpose in the day with barges and stuff, but now it's purely recreational. Historic landmark. Let's carry on. Probably Ottawa's oldest bar. Used to be an old hug and slug. A little touristy now. The Byward Market. Some people get weird with the camera. They don't know where to walk. Just walk. Oh my. Back up the bus, Gus. 68, 69, Firebird 400. What a beautiful car. A little tachometer on the hood there. Automatic. Needs a paint job. Gorgeous. Crocs are still a thing, I guess. Real Crocs. So when you're in or near Quebec, make sure you get poutine. Fries, gravy, cheese, and many, many other yummy things if you so desire. This fine Italian restaurant burnt down years ago. It's still not reconstructed. Wonder what the holdup is. It's one of my sister's favorite places. Star Log Restaurant and Bar. This used to be called something else. Looking good. Some sort of production going on here. Lots of movies being made in Ottawa these days. I wonder what they're filming. See this more and more in Ottawa as a film location. So things aren't squeaky clean yet because it's spring. Got lots of cleanup to do. I thought that was Office Rocker Euler coming up behind me on its obnoxious Harley Davidson. Sounds like his voice. Anti-scooter, rotten German you. Okay, we're down to Dalhousie here, or Dalhousie, however you say it. I think it's local, it's a Dalhousie. Sort of the outer rim of the market. It used to be kind of rough in Dalhousie. Little shadier businesses, old diners, prostitutes. It's changed quite a bit. Lots of eateries and other things. All the old shabby living townhouses and apartments on the side streets. I just about knocked my leg over. They used to be cheap, grungy housing, are now trendy, expensive housing. I think you'd have a hard time finding a cheap place down here anywhere now. People have been driven out. Across the Rideau River, which is the spillway for the Rideau Canal, further east is Vanier, district of Vanier. It's a little more grittier still, and has its share of problems still. It's coming along though. You may find cheaper digs down that way. But still, it's got some interesting old taverns and eateries. Just a little rougher. Okay, we're gonna carry on. Embassy of the United Arab Emirates. Pretty fancy and clean. Looks better and bigger than Ethiopia is or something like that, I could probably assure you. We'll probably see a few embassies. The Rideau River. So now we cross into another part of town. The more upscale old neighborhood of New Edinburgh, which would have been a separate town at one time, which will take us into Rockcliffe, the affluent neighborhood full of mansions, which is bordered right on gritty old Vanier. So maybe we'll show some Vanier too. But dig these original old bridges. Original iron bridges. Nice to see they kept these intact, kept them maintained. Gorgeous girlfriend and I like to come to Ottawa just to walk the dogs and spend the day walking, you know, 15, maybe even 20 kilometers sometimes. Not bad when you're taking it at a slow pace. You're getting refreshments. Ottawa's pretty much a dog-friendly town. But we park down here in New Edinburgh, in these neighborhoods. Park on a side street that doesn't have any signs, or it says you can park all day, and walk from here. Yeah, you're not down in the market or nothing, but you're in a beautiful neighborhood that you get to walk through. And if you loop around and go in the direction I'm going east, you can go into Rockcliffe, loop around, see gritty Vanier, keep going through the Rideau area, see the Parliament buildings, see Bank Street, come back through the Barwood Market, and enjoy the scenery. Ottawa's a beautiful city. Nice folks. Here's something. This ginormous limestone fence and limestone and cast iron fence, words are hard, goes for kilometers around the property. This is Rideau Hall, the official residence of the Governor General of Canada. And sad to say, I don't know who the Governor General is right now. Nobody that's standing out very well anyway. Not since Michel Jean has one stood out so well, unless they've been in controversy. Let's go see if we can see the buildings. Welcome, please take a brochure for a self-guided tour of the grounds. I'm trying to rack my brain to figure out if I've been in here before or not. And if I haven't, why not? It's gorgeous. I don't know if it's open all the time or not. Kind of sweet that you get to just come in here. Nice, you get a bit of shade here in the summer when the leaves pop out. Lots of benches for everybody. Lots of ginormous hardwood trees. What are they? What's the leaves on the ground? What do we got here? Oak trees. I think mostly oak trees. You need not be surprised to find the odd maple, of course. Maples grow everywhere. Here's a Mountie. Check it out. In his full dress uniform, but he doesn't have a Stetson on.
Maybe he's an officer Mountie. Hi. Well secured premises. There'll be cameras everywhere, including mine. I have the First Amendment right to... No, you don't. I don't know what we have here. Constitution. It's in there somewhere. This is Canada, not the USA. And these are our Canadian roads. Okay, we're going out here. Traffic circle. And this is, I don't think anybody's gonna get their nose out of joint, the official Prime Minister's residence tucked way in there. Piece of crap, rat infested, worn out house that they just can't get it together to restore. Or tear it down, whatever, do something. Old Justin doesn't even stay in there. So the word is. She needs work. Where does this end? The Governor General has a big yard. Rockcliffe, another embassy. I can't read the writing, it's too far. Can anybody see those flags? So a little more twisty and old than New Edinburgh, right next door. But if you thought New Edinburgh was expensive, you don't want to know what it costs in here. Hey, buddy. Let's go down Hillcrest. Now, I could cycle for hours in here. These neighborhoods each could be a video on their own if you dug in detail, or if you interviewed people, which I don't, not as of yet anyway. Nothing too grand yet. A fine dressed old chap with his walking stick. Is that Ashbury College? I'm not sure. Gorgeous girlfriend went to school in here for a time at Ashbury College. Now that's either a restored oldie or a styling new one. Fortunately, if the spring winds, which are inevitable, it's so far not too bad, unless it picks up later on. Just a light breeze. See the old carriage house? Limestone. It would be hard to navigate these streets back in the day if you're a delivery person or something, not familiar, before Google Maps. This must be an embassy. Oh, I can't make it out. But it is. It's an embassy. The crescent moon and the star? I don't remember. I should know that. Shame on me. Turkey? I don't know. Libya, the Libyan embassy. It's like Embassy Row here. Red Cardinal. And just like that, we're in gritty old Vanier, where you'll probably get some really good eats. And dare I say, no insult to Rockcliffe, but less pretentious people. I shouldn't judge, sorry. I like these old city neighborhoods, wandering around, where everybody knows each other, where you could squeeze in a little mechanic shop beside your house, grandfathered in. Try and do that nowadays. That's awesome. I promised the love of my life I would bring home something special and different for supper. Seeing as I'm in the city, we don't get here all the time. Stop sign. I got the old stink eye. I just wanted to see what's going on with that box. Uneventful. If ever you are in Ottawa, you must get shawarma. Shawarma plate or shawarma in a wrap. Get shawarma when you're in Ottawa. You will not regret it. Nope. So the streets have improved somewhat. I haven't been here in detail in a while. They have a bike path on the sidewalk, which is nice. The streets of Vanier. It looks much nicer. Very cleaned up. Still got some old bombed out places. Cannabis is legal here, Americans. Recreational cannabis. Just don't be a dummy with it. There is the occasional bonehead that walks down the street with it. Be respectful. We wouldn't have you walking down the street with a bottle of Jack Daniels, so go sit in the park and smoke your joint. And nobody will bother you. Respect. Okay, the bike path has run out and I am technically illegally riding on the sidewalk. And I'm feeling cocky enough to just keep going. Not many people. I don't think I'm bothering too many people. Go slow. Very slow in the driveway. I'm an excellent driver. What do we got here? Chinese, tacos, old-time barber, Mercado Latino. Getting a larger Latino population in Ottawa, which is fabulous for the food. Hard-working Latinos. Love them. Okay, that's enough of Vanier. Enough to get a taste. We're gonna cross the Rideau River again and be in the Rideau neighborhood. Butterflies. Sorry. Oh, you're waiting at the light. Oops. Cactus is in the way. So this is Rideau. Montreal Road turns into Rideau. You pass the Rideau River back here. This used to be quite run down strip, and it's become gentrified too. Cleaned up, buildings restored, buildings tore down. Really nice castle-like apartment. Used to be kind of rough. It's been all redone. Nice new windows. Yeah, shawarma. I'm not even kidding. Just basically pick one. They're all good. Or check reviews online. So here I am again, illegally riding the sidewalk. Chinese meat pie house. Oh, I gotta try that someday. Mexican. Remember, cannabis responsibly. Don't drive. And remember, when you're in Ottawa, I'll say it again, eat your shawarma. You cannot have any pudding if you do not eat your shawarma. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your shawarma? Lots of food trucks in Ottawa too, actually. More cannabis. Medical mushroom dispensary. Oh my, here we go. Here's a tip. Get your cannabis, then get your shawarma. Yeah, unfortunately, of course, Ottawa is a city. It's not immune from the effects of opioids and meth, like just about all North American cities. I just passed well, that poor gentleman that walked by what I'll call Zombie Row. Meth right out of her, fentanyl right out of her. Sad scene. Le Rideau Canal. Ready to be filled up very soon. As you can see, it's not very deep. These are the little platforms they put to buy snacks and beverages and beaver tail desserts in the winter. When they freeze the canal, it becomes, I believe, the longest skating rink in the world. Kind of neat. It had a hard time this winter. Winter came on late. I don't know how much it was open. So yeah, anyway, Ottawa. This is the National Arts Centre, where you can see concerts and plays and whatnot. We just got a ginger and tan one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, puppy.
Oh,
Yeah.
how many weeks?
10 weeks now.
Oh.
Hell on earth.
Yeah.
2 more years.
Yeah.
Enjoy. He's getting better really quick. Fitz is his name. So if you're, let's get back to the topic here. If you like biking and pretty cities, come on to Ottawa. The leaves are gonna pop soon. The flowers will be out. Watch for the weather. Really, you could spend 3 days here biking around and visiting things and endless museums. It's fantastic. Come and have a look. Just by the University of Ottawa. Lots of students out and about. I think I'll get around here and cross that pedestrian bridge, and we'll get over to Bank Street. One of them there lock bridges where you can put a lock in honor of your love for someone or good luck or something. Oh, we're running out. Here's one lone one. Okay, Bank Street. I'm not gonna go nuts on Bank Street. If I could give one shout out, it's this German doner kebab. Absolutely fabulous. Shawarma leg meat and fried cabbage and stuff on a waffle doner thing. It's just so unusual and very good, very rich. Try it out. 5 stars. So again, a lot of the same old of any cosmopolitan downtown area. It's just another section, another street of great stores, great delis. Look at the meat. Oh my word. Killer. Harmon's Butchery. Sir John A. Pub. Given what I said about Sir John A. MacDonald, it's a wonder they held on to that name. But it'll settle down in time. I'm sure it's fine. Escape Manor. That, sir, used to be a comedy club we used to frequent. And the Manor Lounge. Happy Goat Coffee Company for your piping hot caffeinated beverage. Adam the Woo, I stole that from you. Adam, if you're ever up in Canada, look me up. I'll take you around. I'll show you where stuff is. Okay, enough of Bank Street. On to Chinatown. I've never been, but it's one of those famous quintessential downstairs hole-in-the-wall pubs of Ottawa. I must go for a beer someday. The entrance to Chinatown. Although not predominantly Chinese anymore. Large population of Vietnamese and other. If you are hungry and you want something to eat, I'd be willing to bet you go to just about any place here and have a fabulous meal. I've been to a couple, never disappointed. It's not the biggest Chinatown anywhere, but it's still cozy. Lots of good products. It's cleaned up a lot too. It used to be pretty rough looking in the 80s. And it will tee into Preston Street, which is the area that they call Little Italy. Predominantly Italian shops and restaurants. La Dolce Vita. So Preston, Little Italy. Not as gritty as it used to be in the 80s. But I hear Italian being spoken everywhere. Italian restaurants, Italian delis, Italian shops. Went to high school near here actually. Did some high school time with a lot of Little Italy lads. This Valley Hick, going to high school in the inner city. But it was a good experience. Gave me some culture. if you're ever on Gladstone, get yourself an ice cream or a shake at the Mary Dairy. Coconut raspberry. Pretty dang good. Did I say chocolate raspberry? It's chocolate strawberry. It's dang good. Real milk, as it should be, duh. So that's gonna wrap up Ottawa. We're back in Hintonburg here. And I found a quiet little park to be able to talk to myself and not be too overly embarrassed or look too nuts. I'm in the city, people are making videos on YouTube and anyway, so not a big deal. So that's Ottawa. Ottawa's a bike town. I've barely shown you anything of Ottawa. It's just that I'm still off, and I wanted to spend the day here on this beautiful 13 April of 20 some degrees. I don't know if it hit 28 or not. I feel pretty hot from cycling around. This milky shake is getting to me. In a few more weeks there'll be leaves and flowers, and the streets will be cleaned up from all the sand, and there's quite a few branches down from the ice storm that rushed me home really quick. We didn't get it too bad in the Ottawa Valley. It covered everything in white crust, but coming east towards this area it got a lot worse, and in Pontiac County on the Quebec side it got nailed pretty good too. So a beautiful day. I'm just trying to get into my phone here. I have a camera put on Fitz, the shiny new ginger and white border collie puppy of 10 weeks old, who is in his cage until Mama gets home. And gorgeous girlfriend is off in 7 minutes, and she'll be home 10 minutes later. Last time I checked, he was screaming his head off. Let's see here. He's awake, but he's quiet. Can you see? A little glare. He's patiently waiting. It's getting better every day. Anyway, that's a wrap. We're gonna find the caravan. I forget the name of the street already, but I know where it is by landmarks. Hilton or Hinton, or I can't remember. So, hey, it makes me look like I'm not talking to myself when I got my phone like this. Yes. We're gonna wrap it up and head back west to the Ottawa Valley. And before I do that, when I get in the van, I gotta look up some kind of awesome takeout food to bring home and have a feast tonight with my lovely lady. Thanks for watching Out and About. I'm Cactus. Get on your bike. Get out there. Enjoy. See the world. Be nice to each other. Have a great day. Happy spring. See you in the next one. I'm winking.